Hello everyone, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw on July 11th, 2016, and, I'm going to give this Raw kind of a mixed bag. A lot of stuff that probably didn't mean all that much of anything because, like, where are they going with it or anything like that. Like the Breezango versus Lucha Dragons match. They made something on the Raw pre-show doing, like, both of them making fun of each other. But in the terms of, like, long-term, like, where is it going, they had Breezango actually win that match. Nothing wrong with that. Actually, I thought some of the match was actually kind of good. That finish to the match with how Tyler Breeze finished off Kalisto, I thought was a really cool looking spot. He traps his head between the turnbuckle and his body, and then super kicks him in the head after that. I thought that was a pretty good way of finishing off the match. Overall, in that sense, just kind of building people going into draft time. But they started off the show with a number one contenders battle royal. Now, first of all, you go off with this. They don't start with a long-winded promo to begin the show. You have a promo from The Miz saying, "Hey, this is for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental title," and then you have the battle royal. Battle royals, I've always enjoyed battle royals, so this one wasn't that bad. The ending comes weird because they debuted Darren Young and Bob Backlund after doing all of those particular skits, and they have Darren Young go over, but they have him go over with the aspect of Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin eliminating each other, and he was just the last one left in the ring. This was made up by the celebration between Bob Backlund and Darren Young, which was actually kind of funny. Like, Backlund's like, goes in there, holds him up and everything like that. This is gonna, I think on TV here, this is going to be a lot more interesting than those vignettes, because now Backlund kind of has an interaction with the actual character. It's not like, oh, I am on this side of the screen, you're on this side of the screen, and we were filming these at separate times, and just kind of meshed together. Now it's kind of, they have an ability to flush it out now. So that's going to make things a little bit better there. Other things going down. You had Zack Ryder in the backstage setting up trying to set up his match with Rusev, saying he's like, he needs, you asked me to come challenge you on Raw. Well, here I am. I'm challenging you. He gets attacked by Sheamus, and that does lead to another match with Sheamus and Zack Ryder, though we have one on SmackDown. This time, because of the attack and everything like that, Sheamus pulls out the victory, but Rusev comes out immediately afterwards, and they start brawling. Rusev gets the upper hand, puts the accolade in, and says and during that entire time he's saying, "I accept your challenge, I accept your challenge." So we're assuming that Zack Ryder's now, even after a loss, going to get a U.S. title match at Battleground. So okay, so it looks like we have two more matches made for Battleground, one with Darren Young and The Miz, and now Zack Ryder and Rusev. I mean, okay, that's not it's not bad. I guess it's not horrible, but it's not really that good. We'll leave it at that, but we'll see where they go with everything. Pay-per-view matches as of late have tended to be pretty good, so we'll see how everything comes off at the pay-per-view with those particular ones. You had Seth Rollins coming out and cutting a promo, and they're still playing off the whole Roman Reigns suspension thing, and this one was actually good. This was good with Seth Rollins. You have Seth Rollins kind of doing the whole Michael Cole Wednesday interview thing, but they spliced in the whole Roman Reigns interview, bits and pieces of the whole Roman Reigns interview from a couple different ones. Like, one I think was from one was from the night after Fastlane 2014, when after he beat Daniel Bryan, he was about to face Brock Lesnar. So I think one of them was from there. The other one was at one time with another interview after he had won the WWE title to go along with it. It was actually kind of good how they were playing it off. They tried to have Seth Rollins make Roman look like the biggest bad guy ever in this one, and I thought it came off really good. This did lead to Dean Ambrose coming out and the two of them going about everything. I like how, as of late, Dean Ambrose has been just kind of a joking, jovial type of character. But here, he pulls the seriousness out. Like, almost the unhinged variation with him comes out in this promo towards the end. And Seth Rollins, is really wants the one-on-one shot. So, Dean goes off and does his normal shtick, saying, hey, you want it? Anytime, anywhere. And it's of course, Seth was teases it for tonight, It's like, no, next week. And then it was officially announced that next week that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are going to have a title match on Raw right before the draft. And it looks like they're trying to pull out all the stops here. In certain cases, try to pull off ratings here. They're having a title match on Raw and everything in that sense. So we'll see where everything goes with that next week and how that leads into the Battleground pay-per-view match as well, because they're still making it the triple threat match. So we'll see how everything goes with that. Not a bad segment between them. I thought that was actually pretty good. Up next was Kevin Owens and Cesaro. You had Sami Zayn coming out on commentary. Kevin Owens' music plays, but he's staying in the back, not coming out. And he's saying it's an unsafe work environment. Get rid of Sami Zayn. Stephanie is like, well, get rid of Sami Zayn. So that's what they do. They escort, as they're escorting Zayn out of the up the rampway. Kevin Owens does come out, and they brawl quickly before Kevin Owens makes it into the ring. And then the match with Cesaro happens. And I thought this was a really good match. Owens goes over with a different move other than the pop-up powerbomb. Like I said, the spots and everything that both of these guys did were relatively good in this match. This was a fun match. This is definitely a fun match here. And after it ends with Owens getting the victory with a torture rack neck breaker type move, Sami Zayn does attack Owens from the crowd after Owens taken Byron's headset and starts cutting a quick promo in there about how he's the best ever, everything on that aspect. Owens gets away from him and then gets the giant swing inside of the ring from Cesaro, and that's how that segment ends up ending. I'm shocked they haven't announced some kind of stipulation for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at this point in time. These guys have had lots of one-on-one matches, and sure, they've been in multi-man ladder matches, but they have not had that one-on-one stipulation style match. I don't think. I could be wrong on that one. I don't fully remember, but I think all of their matches so far, at least on main roster, have been via just one-on-one matches. So, almost shocked they're not doing some kind of a stipulation match here, but in the end, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You have a quick backstage promo from AJ Styles and the club, basically talking, they were playing up the whole aspect of Cena's not here. Oh, he's rehearsing for the ESPYs in LA. Why is Enzo and Cass even wanting to do this? He doesn't even care about you guys. So you have that back there. They even tease about going to the ESPYs and doing the whole beating up John Cena thing. This was a good promo. I like where they're going with AJ Styles and the club in this case. And that was coming a little bit later on. Actually, it was after these next two segments, I believe. Let me double check my notes. Yes. After these next two segments, you have Club and Enzo and Cass. So I'll talk about that here in a moment. But there's two other things that went down. You had Heath Slater up against Titus O'Neil. Nothing match, really. Just another way of building Titus O'Neil over by having him go over one of the social outcasts. I like how they have pretty much everybody go over the social outcasts at any given time. But the next one was the Wyatt family compound brawl, where the New Day goes to the Wyatt family compound. There's only one thing that I can truly say about this. And you've already seen a live reaction. If you want to go back, it's on the channel. This was a more serious variation to the Final Deletion video. The way that this one came off, there wasn't much joking. Actually, there wasn't joking at all. You had a couple, corny type horror moments where you have Xavier Woods hiding behind a tree, but then they add a pickaxe to it. They go all out in this one, and the whole aspect of where they went with everything with the Wyatt family compound. Like you had the New Day walk in, and like 5 cars were lined up, and all the lights come on. Like they gave it a cool, like they did give it a B horror movie type feel. Like there's some cheesiness to this, definitely, but you could tell they were going for far more seriousness here. It was, I would say, it was probably shot a little bit better, but then again, the equipment that WWE has versus TNA is like second to none in the terms of video recording. So that would definitely be one of those cases. The Wyatts come in via a car. They run into it. They basically tease that they were going to run down New Day. They run into a truck. All 3 of them get out, and the big brawl starts on all sides. And these guys, like I said, there was nothing in the terms of this brawl that came off cheesy by any stretch of the imagination. Outside of the whole aspect, like they used what was in the area. And it was like, okay, a couple weird things do get thrown in there. Like the pickaxe is kind of out of nowhere, but it does play off of Bray Wyatt like being very sadistic and everything. The weirdest item I think that was used throughout the entire thing was was a tire that was pulled out of the back of a truck. In that sense, like otherwise there were a few. Actually, I think, never mind that. There was also some buckets that got involved in this one, too. But overall, like I said, this one got a more serious vibe, and the way that it ended was like, okay, it looked like the New Day got rid of Strowman and Rowan, and they only had to deal with Bray. All of a sudden, Strowman and Rowan come back into the show. And then all of a sudden, like, the Fireflies like show up in the background. This actually came off pretty good. This actually came off pretty good in the sense of everything. Like this was their like I said, this one was their variation of the Final Deletion, and it's hard to say which one's better. Like there are some really good things about Matt and Jeff's Final Deletion, like the aspect of like drones flying into Jeff's house, the facial reactions from Matt, like they were going for like just going ham with everything. Like they were trying something completely different, and it came off really good in that sense because it came off good in the sense of like I was able to enjoy myself in the terms of laughing at what was going on, but also incorporate that there was a couple serious moments inside of that video. This one was pure seriousness the entire way that they were going for. They were taking this one completely serious. The way they shot it, with grainy video and everything like that, that came off really good. Things in that one. Both of them I always had to put for the serious side of everything and for telling the story. I would probably say this one was a little bit better, and that one because I'm not going to try to take the easy way out and say, oh, they're about equal. Don't get me wrong, both of them are enjoyable. Both of them are enjoyable, but for the terms of the storyline between the New Day and the Wyatts, they told the story what they needed to do. They needed to creep out the New Day and bring that serious side out of them, and that's what they do here, and that's what they do in this sense. While with the Final Deletion video, they were maybe not necessarily ending that storyline, but they were going for something like just a different feel. And they went completely ham with it. It was like it looked like both of those guys enjoyed what they were doing in that sense. Like just doing wacky and zany things to go along with it. And this one was a different vibe from this video, from that. Both are enjoyable. I would say in the terms of storyline building for immediate time afterwards, the New Day Wyatt one was a little bit better in that sense. But overall, very good segment. I thought that was a very good segment of the show, and it came off really good. And like I said, you just saw something like that over on TNA Impact with the Final Deletion. That was enjoyable. This one was enjoyable. Don't do things like this too often. Let's just say it like that. They're enjoyable, but don't do them too often so they don't become like this norm and then like okay. And then everybody just gets that okay vibe from it. So up next was Enzo and Cass versus the Club. Gallows and Anderson, obviously they start cutting the promo. Actually, a very good promo on both sides here. Right before the match, it's like, obviously Enzo and Cass saying it's like, okay, Cena's not here, whatever. In that sense, but also the Club trying to make that kind of dissension from Cena and Enzo and Cass, that saying, oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all about anybody but himself or anything in that sense. Like I said, they teased up the entire night that Cena wasn't there because they even have him tweet out that he's rehearsing in LA for the ESPYs. So they played off of that. The match itself was pretty good. Your typical Enzo and Cass type of feel things where, you know, Enzo gets beat. Like, they do some trading back and forth, but then Enzo starts getting beaten down and then makes the hot tag to Cass. They go for the finish and sorry. And when they go for the finish, the pinfall does get broken up, but AJ Styles gets rid of Big Cass and causes the disqualification, knocks him outside of the ring, and they surround Enzo Amore. And this has got to be the first time I heard Cena's music in a long time, and the place just goes nuts in the terms of complete cheers. Like, I could barely hear any boos for that one. He comes out, makes the save on Enzo and Cass, and they clear house. And this was, like I said, this was one of those few times that I've heard it where, you know, it was complete, or maybe not fully complete, but mostly for Cena chants. Like, they were going nuts for this segment at the end of it. It came off really good. These were portions of the show that came off really good. Like, they obviously had those couple of nothing matches in there. Like, it's like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? But no, there was also good parts of the show to go along with it. Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke. You had a quick promo beforehand from Sasha Banks. Okay promo, nothing too much about it. About that aspect, continuing on building that side that she wants to go after Charlotte and everything like that, but has to go through Dana Brooke now because Dana Brooke challenged her and said she was going to make her regret that she even challenged her. The match, Sasha wins it. Obviously, the way it probably should go right now. Sasha wins that match. It was good at times. Dana looked okay at times. She needs a lot of work. She really does. Dana Brooke does need a lot of work inside the ring. It's very unfortunate. I know why they brought her up to work with Emma, and they did that. They had that dichotomy there and everything. But yeah, I guess they feel like they didn't want to send Dana back down so quickly after bringing her up, so they put her with Charlotte, and she's kind of getting exposed in that sense of how, I won't say she's horrible, but she's not good. She's not. There were some good spots to the match, some not so good spots. We'll leave it at that. And they continue on, and the promo afterwards from Charlotte was kind of out there too. That, like, this segment came off as a little bit off this time around, and we'll see where they go with everything here in the future, and if they're going to do something for Battleground, because Charlotte challenges Sasha to face Dana again on SmackDown, saying that she only got lucky and everything like that. And we'll see where they go with everything going into SmackDown. This leads to the final portion of the night, which has Vince McMahon coming out, and they had him showing up on Raw saying, it's like, I'm going to announce a new commissioner for SmackDown and everything like that tonight. And it's like, who was I going to announce? All of that bit of everything. So this was supposed to be Vince's announcement about who's the commissioner for SmackDown. Stephanie and Shane come out first, and Vince comes out to go along with everything, and he has them pitch to him why they should be in, and he wanted, like, ruthlessness from both sides. He even makes fun of Stephanie in this one. This is actually a pretty good promo. This is a lot better promo from Vince than it had been in the past. in the terms of most recent past. I like this promo from him. He goes after Stephanie and how Shane had been acting in the terms of like, oh, they're semi-working together, but Stephanie's passive aggressive, and where's the Stephanie he knew, and everything in that sense. And then of course like Shane not really like working with Stephanie as well. He wanted them to like compete with each other. So he gives them the pitch. Both of them give the pitch. Your typical fare, Stephanie completely attacks Shane the entire time, garnering heat and everything like that. And Shane kind of plays up to the crowd and how everything goes. But he also pitches as like, I'm gonna change ways that the show is shot, how SmackDown would be different and everything in that sense. And like, I would like that. I would like that aspect of it. But there's two things here that could be very interesting. It's like, do they actually change the way SmackDown is shot? And do they change the way it looks? Do they have like a new set or something like that for the new SmackDown when it comes out? But that could be one intriguing thing. So Vince makes his announcement, says, Shane, you're going to be the commissioner of SmackDown. Of course, he celebrates and everything like that, but it's like, but he has to relieve his duties on Raw, and Stephanie's going to be commissioner on Raw. And then he makes one extra announcement to tease for the next week that both of them have to name general managers. So they're going to oversee general managers. Okay, this is a little bit different. A little bit of a nicer way of going. It's not just your typical, oh, now it's Shane and Steph. No, they're going to name general managers, and they oversee the full-on operation. So they're the operation people for that. So you might not even see them on TV all that often. And they have general managers who will probably be on there like every week or something like that. So we'll see where they go with everything. This final segment wasn't too bad. Overall, like I said, mixed bag on Raw. You had a bunch of nothing stuff that happened on there, but then there was also some good story building to go along with it on certain sides. And we'll see where everything goes going into next week. You have the WWE title match, and it's the final Raw before the pay-per-view, but also the final Raw before the draft to go along with it. So we'll see where everything goes with that. And that is my review for WWE Raw this week. I thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.